Hey, you know what time it is? It's time for me to say thank you. Thank you for all the support you guys give. This whole series would not be the same without you. So whether you're listening, whether you're sharing, whether you're just posting on Reddit, whether you guys are buying merch, supporting us on Patreon, or just listening. Like I said, you think I said that first, just listening. It is spectacular to be a part of your life and to have you guys as a part of mine. So thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Season 2 survival guide as we head into Shattered Visage. On this one, we're going to be exploring a little bit about Cyrus the Valgardian's amazing adventures from Season 0 through Season 1 and what there leaves us looking at for Season 2. But I won't review too much of Season 0 because a lot of that we kind of rehash in Season 1, or at least we draw from it. Basically, long story short, Cyrus arrived, joined Bram, went to a town, got lost, nearly got kidnapped, everything in the town blew up. Cyrus tried to run away with Bram. They were chased by soldiers. And then the Fire of the World's Ending showed up, who is a spooky son of a bitch, and we don't know all that much about him, but he is dangerous. He burns Cyrus alive and rebuilds him somehow. And that's sort of where we join Cyrus. He's fleeing from Edoran forces in Sunsetton after narrowly surviving the Machine King's attack on the city and the assault of Sunsetton soldiers. But Bram has been killed, Cyrus has been burned alive and rebuilt, and now the threat of some deadly force that calls itself the Fire of the World's Ending lingers over Cyrus's head. And so Cyrus runs away, fleeing against more and more coming soldiers, but there's a reason that Bram wanted to warn us about the Western Expanse. Just as soon as Cyrus makes it past the tree line, the forest comes alive. And for some reason, it lets Cyrus pass, but it does not let the soldiers go through. It descends upon them like this living forest, attacking, devouring, and leaving the remainder of the forest fleeing for their lives. Cyrus isn't left to celebrate, though. He continues his desperate flight, and eventually he loses heart and collapses in exhaustion hours and hours into his running into the forest. But out of another good turn of events, he encounters the Star Stag, which is some spirit of the forest, and he awakes the next day to sort of find himself alive, and now accompanied again by C, the voice in his head. But to complicate things, there's a new sixth sense that has awoken in Cyrus. It's a second sight, almost, and it sort of links him to the otherworldly energies and life forces that tie together all magic and mysteries in Edera. So, with nothing else better to do, he continues his adventure. He hitches his fate to a wandering herd of Armorots and mystical Floragons, and he goes deeper into the Western Expanse. But as the forests grow thicker and more wild, the danger rises. At the Golden Waters, where life energy of the forest is the most powerful, there are dangerous predators hiding in the water. The Muckmaws who attack the herd and leave Cyrus feeling shaken and ended up separated from the herd. He continues along the river, hoping it'll find civilization somehow, but after miles and miles and miles, he starts to notice a grim contagion in the air. It's one that is poisoning and changing the water, the trees, and it is adjusting and corrupting the animals. Now, eventually the contagion starts to affect Cyrus himself. He brings upon himself these visions of primal forces clashing, and then he is chased downriver by this corrupted wolf, which has bizarre lesions and extra limbs. And it's been consumed by hunger. It's terrifying, and as my mom describes it, it's really creepy crawly. There's a thrilling chase, and Cyrus escapes the wolf thanks to a waterfall and some unseen predator that dwells at the bottom of the basin. But he washes ashore at the feet of a massive gray great wolf, which is a stern protector of the forest, 10 feet high and the size of an elephant, but far more dangerous. But rather than snacking on Cyrus, the great wolf actually just leads him deeper into the forest, where the contagion starts to fade and is replaced with a increasingly powerful magical force. Eventually, Cyrus comes upon Tristan, a human, and the Den of the Moondogs, a massive den where humans and wolves live comfortably intertwined in their lifestyles. Despite some misadventures and Tristan's womanizing ways, Cyrus comfortably settles into a spare room, but he's nearly sent comatose by the arrival of a powerful magical force, something that dwarfs anything he's experienced in his entire time in the forest. Only upon awakening does Cyrus realize that that magical hurricane that nearly killed him came from Midnight Dark Great Jaw Erytheme, a centuries-old leader of the Moondogs. They have a tense conversation, where Cyrus explains his history as a Valgardian, his encounter with the fire of the world's ending, and his desire to return home. And Erytheme hears him out and eventually decides to send Cyrus away to some of their allies, where he can be among other people with strange gifts and abilities. This is because the ways of the wolf are foreign to Cyrus and would leave him feeling even more alien and even more separated. Now, this seems like an okay deal, Cyrus agrees, and he ventures off with Tristan, but during a detour to the Star Lake, which is the beating heart of the forest's magical energy, danger strikes again. The corruption has spread and now threatens to consume and turn the very heart of the forest dark and corrupted and twisted and creepy-crawly. And it's not just the black oil that has arrived. Ronnie, an outcast great wolf, and his corrupted pack of twisted great wolves lead an army of corrupted beasts to try to accomplish a sort of twisted grab for power. But the Western Expanse is not without protectors. Tristan reveals, eventually, that the humans of the Moondogs and the great wolves that Cyrus has been encountering are one and the same. They are humans capable of transforming into enormous wolves, with incredible magical power. And with a howl, Tristan summons all of his allies. Now, Cyrus and Tristan fight to hold the line with some healthy wolves and beasts that answer the call, but things are looking dire. That is, up until Erytheme arrives, leading the entirety of the Full Moon's Guard, a legion of great wolves, with Midnight Dark Greatjaw, the most powerful of all, at their head. Now, in the ensuing clash, Cyrus catches glimpses and visions and memories of centuries before, revealing some sort of bond, at least in the past, between Ronnie and Erytheme. But in time, the forces of the forest prevail, and also mourn the loss of their kin. No matter how corrupted, they were still family. And that's where we leave the end of Season 1, and going into Shattered Visage, we have a lot of questions for Cyrus. First, what was that dark corruption, and where did it come from? What's next for Cyrus? When we started Season 1, it was just about survival for him. But now, with the support of the Moondogs, he has a chance to sort of determine the path ahead for himself. What lies there? Well, we'll figure that out. And we've got other questions. What is to become of Cyrus's burgeoning gift of second sight? What are his abilities? And as Cyrus slowly gains a foothold in Edera, what's become of his quest to return home? He's got inconsistent memories, he's got a voice in his head, he's got the fire of the world's ending on his trail, and there's still the fact that Valgardians are an ancient legend. That all poses questions. And what happened to bring Cyrus here? What does that mean for the future of both Valgardia and Edera? How are these all intertwined? You know the answer. Gonna have to listen to Shattered Visage to find out.